This is Sean from HZad Education. Today we're going to talk about this very interesting topic, why the 5% people in the world are the only ones controlling most of the resources, especially financial resources, and how come they are the most successful people in the world while everybody else seems to be struggling. You don't just see this in research, you don't see this in news, you don't see this as the main thing that everybody says, but you also see this among your friends, among your family members. You also see the small minority of people who are really confident and happy and financially abundant, while the rest of the world struggles. Well, an easy thing we do as humans is villainize the rich people, and we think life is unfair there. However, let me tell you that this rule applies to not only the financial situations, but in every situation in life. I've seen this firsthand as a business owner, meeting business people, people who are running successful businesses, as well as people who are failing in businesses. And I have done my research before this video. I've done lots of research on just understanding this fact on why this really happens. And I've come down today to some of the most important characteristics that lead people in different groups, whether it's that 5% or that 95%. In this video, I'll give you a breakdown and I'll show you which percentage or which category you might belong into and where you need to jump in order to be in that happy, prosperous category that everybody wants to be in. And rightfully so. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be in that category? Now, first of all, coming back to that point, this phenomenon is observed in every part of life. It's observed, first of all, in your schooling. Most students are not getting the first place in the school. They're not getting the first rank. They don't have the highest mark. There's only one person who has that. And well, that one person is not the only one appreciated. There are, in different classes and different schooling systems, there are about 3 to 5 people who are really appreciated, while everybody else in the class are just regular students. Doesn't matter if you came 6th or 7th, nobody gives a crap, right? The same thing happens at work. There are only a few senior management positions. There's only one CEO usually, while the rest of the team are employees or low-level supervisors. The high-level managers, supervisors, the top supervisors, they are very limited. This happens at work. We also know in religion it's the same thing. There are several priests in the world, but there's one pope. We also know this happens in the government. There is one prime minister, one president, while the rest of the people are either cabinet, are in the cabinet, in the parliament. They have different roles, but not as big as this one or two senior roles that the government provides. So essentially, this happens in every part of life. Today, I'm going to give you the example of why this happens in businesses. And in businesses, we have a very specific statistic, which is 90% businesses fail. Well, again, I've done extensive research to present it all to you guys in this video, so you don't have to do it yourselves. It's not really 90% businesses failing. It's more like this. In the first year, 20% businesses fail. In the next 3 years, 60% businesses fail. So 40% still do good until year 5. So by year 5, we say, or well, the research says that 90% businesses fail, and that comes up to year 5. So even with new businesses, we have the same idea. And there's a 10% success rate, but only actually 5% of them are doing really great. Same rule happens with investors. If you guys have watched Shark Tank, you might think, why are people investing in all these companies? When investors invest, they invest in 10 companies. They know only one is going to make them a 10 times or a 15-time return. Everything else is probably going to be stable or they're going to fail. But they rely on that one company because that is the rule of life. In every walk of life, you will experience that. So today, let's discuss that. And I had the inspiration of making this video when someone asked me, how do we get in business? And again, it was that daunting statistic that 90% of us will fail. So how do I possibly set my mind and ambition to working in business? And then I told them that you're really not competing with all the businesses. You're not competing with 100% of the industry. You're actually competing with 5% of the industry because the 95% you can easily overcome. And I'll explain how that works. This is just a business side because I'm a businessman. I can give you my experience and share valuable insights from my side. However, the compilation, the categories I'll provide you today, the 60%, then there's a 20%, and so on, This applies to every walk in life, at work, with family, religion, everything. This applies in every place. So let's talk about businesses. Let's say you want to start your own business, and there's a great video on my channel on how to start businesses. I have made very specific points, like which website you have to go to and who you have to contact. So if you really are inspired to make a business, go on that YouTube video of on my channel at HZad Education. You'll learn a lot. Okay, so here's what I told this guy, and my numbers might be a little inaccurate, but what I did after telling him and then doing my research was come here and explain to you guys how the 100% people in business perform. So I told this person, you don't have to worry about the 100% people, because right away you can scratch off 60% of the market. 60% people in businesses are not hardworking. Simple as that. They're not hardworking. So there will be people, you will see it again in your friends, your colleagues, just go around your neighborhood. You will always see this pattern. 9 to 5 is the preferred way, which is not bad. You know, nobody is criticizing that. The problem there is when people stop at 5, they don't want to do anything else. 5 is the limit. We don't want to do anything else. Maybe you're not being paid for it, but even if you were being paid, you want to stop at 5 because, you know, family matters and your personal things you want to do. Where again, some businesses think that if we work 9 to 9, family matters, yeah, but we'll be able to provide more for the family with more money. So there's different thinking patterns. But the idea is, and again, Tony Robbins says this, every successful person says this, Floyd Mayweather says this, he says that if I wake up at 3 a.m. at night and start working out, I am so much ahead than the rest of my competition. And he is the best fighter, the best boxer in the world. He has that sort of thinking. A lot of athletes say this, a lot of successful people say this, but you don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. The idea is, instead of 9 to 5, what if you have a separate gig and you have a 6 to 7? To go to that gig, you have 5 to 6 transportation time, but you have 6 to 7 every day for that gig. Now you are 1 hour per day ahead in terms of the money you're making and in terms of the career path you're on than the rest of the world. And this 1 hour is going to put you in the 40% category, which is the hardworking category, versus the 60% category, which is simply the vanilla, the usual people who just want to do the usual work and not work more than 8 hours a day. Again, I'm not criticizing the full-time work. I'm just saying that if you have energy and you have passion, why not work 1 extra hour? Maybe sell some insurance, maybe sell some homes, maybe start your own business, get some idea for just 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day can change your life. So that's just the start. But honestly, successful people, like look at the most successful person in the world right now, Elon Musk. He's working 12, 13 hours a day. He's working like an animal. And a lot of successful people work 6 days a week, not 5 days a week. They do take 1 day off because they realize the value of refreshing yourself and taking a break. But it's again that thing about hard work. And 60% people are simply not hardworking. It's very easy. You see this in every walk of life. 60% people are not hardworking, maybe more. So if they're not hardworking, they're not promoting their business, they're not working hard on their customers or on their product or service, which means you don't have to worry about them. If you're simply a little more hardworking, few more minutes and hours every week, you are better than them and you can overcome 60% of the competition. Okay, so now my friend is feeling great. He's like, all right, this is good. I don't have a bigger target. I just have 40%. And I'm like, wait a second, it's not even 40%. Let me tell you what happens with the other 20%. This is another big chunk. 20% people don't have the belief, okay? This is, again, it's even in that 60%, some of them, well, most of them, and another 20%, you can easily say they lack belief. Is it a big percentage? Absolutely not. Once again, if you don't believe me, just go around you. Just talk to people. Ask them what their goal in life is. Ask them, what do you want to do? Maybe they're going to say they want to make $1 billion. But then ask them, are you really going to make it? Actually, 90% people will tell you no. Most people have a problem of lacking self-belief. And that's a big problem. It's something that is instilled in our minds. When we study techniques about law of attraction and mind power, we always notice that attracting negativity is so much easier than attracting positivity. And that's why media makes so much money with negativity, right? They give you negative news, you want to click on it, you make money, they make money, sorry, the media. And if it's positive news, you wouldn't care about it. So human mind is attracted to the negative, and only a few people really truly believe in positivity and are really taking actions based on their positive belief. So most people are not positive, which means you can easily scratch off another 20% who are not having the right belief and thus not taking the positive actions for their business. 80%, you're not competing with them. Now you're in the 20%. Now these people are tough, okay? These people are hardworking and they have a strict belief. And I'm talking about a sick, strict belief. We're not talking about maybe I'll get to $1 billion. These people are really serious. They believe in every word they say and they're delusional. Like maybe they're on the streets and they're talking about making $1 billion. But actually those kind of people end up making that much money. There was I forgot now. I was just watching a YouTube video earlier about a prisoner, and then he was on the streets, and he had 50 cents, and he turned it into $1 billion. So it's exactly what I'm talking about here. People like this who have a sick belief. So these 20% people are hard to compete with. But again, these 20% people also lack a lot of qualities. So 5% of them, they have the belief, right? And you might see so many people in your life, especially now youngsters, they really believe. You can go to them and you'll hear them say, dude, I want this badly, or I'm really crazy about this. But when you see their plans, okay, how are you going to achieve this? There's no answer, right? So most people, well, not most, a lot of, I would say again, that 5% statistic is very accurate. These 5% people in this remaining 20%, they don't have a plan. And without a plan, how could you possibly believe in everything you say? And plans are meant to be changed. So it's okay if you change that later. You learn new information every time, but without a solid plan, you're nothing. And these 5% people have a great belief, but they're actually very delusional because there's no planning, right? A lot of people have a mistake in the law of attraction. They believe that spiritually they can get everything. And I blame a lot of gurus because, some people are not financially abundant, but they pretend to be gurus and coach people in the wrong way. They tell people, believe in yourself, sit on this chair, everything will come to you without any action or plan. That's not how that works. You need action, plan, and belief. You need these three things together. So a lot of people don't plan, and that's why you can scratch off those 5% people, because if you have a better plan and if you actually have any plan, you're better than people who don't have a plan. The other 5% people lack knowledge. This is another important thing. So if I go into this business, we have a very successful English teaching business. Before we went into this, I did a lot of my knowledge, how people fail, how people pass, what kind of strategies work for students, what makes parents happy, how does the mind of the student work, and how can we motivate them, etc. You have to learn all of this versus going to the first class as a random teacher and just saying, okay, this is the grammar rule, without any idea of how to get results, how to get people motivated, etc. So if you have proper knowledge, obviously you will have proper skills. This was a point I wanted to make with skills versus knowledge, but I think knowledge is more important because if you have the right knowledge, you will work on those skills. And with that knowledge, you can upgrade yourself all the more. So knowledge, having that is very important for your field. You have to do lots of research, you have to contact lots of people, and a lot of times experience gives you knowledge as well. So I learned a lot from my students, right? When they were talking, they were mentioning different things. Like, I went in as a teacher knowing the main things, parts of speech, nouns, verbs, pronouns, and so on. And then students were telling me, what about irregular verbs? Or what about compound sentences or gerunds? Those are very detailed definitions, but I didn't know them as a rookie teacher. And then I was pushed to learn about them, and that's how I became better, and now I can answer any student question. So that's where knowledge will make you stand out, will make you credible, and will give you the edge over people who just go in anything without knowing anything. Now we're down to 10%. Okay, so we're still doing our competition with a really competitive bunch. Here's where people lack creativity. Many people are not creative, and this is where you can scratch off another 5% of your competition. In business, what creativity means, making, for example, if I'm promoting my ad, so I'm going to be creative with my ads. Instead of making an ad where I say that you can have amazing classes and perfect results, you'll be having great satisfaction guaranteed. I could make something better where I offer my customers free first lesson, guaranteed result, not guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed results. And amazing teachers, range of options, range of schedules. Now the student will think that this company offers me flexibility, it offers some guarantees and a free trial to begin with. So my advertising is more creative and we actually deliver that. Another creative thing would be designing, making your website more attractive. And me coming here on YouTube, like how many teachers come on YouTube? They mostly just run ads but don't really come on YouTube and contribute to the community. So that's where creativity comes in. And in businesses, you can be creative in a lot of ways: how you make advertisements, how you contact different companies, how you present yourself to the customer. Let me tell you something about recruiting, because I'm recruiting some new teachers. And if you guys know some great English teachers, let me know. So there's this person who, I don't know if I should mention his name, I won't, but he was one of the many applicants. Now what he did was, after our interview, he sent me a PowerPoint presentation made just for me. So it was like Mr. Cheyenne, and then all his qualities, and I would love to work with HZad education. And he made a whole presentation which might have taken him 2 hours. But what happened is, I noticed him. I noticed this guy, and I'm like, he has potential because he has dedication. He showed me something new. It's very different than every other person who just had a 5-minute interview with me. And I'm going to hire that guy. I'm going to talk to him later today, and we're going to make a job offer. So that's the thing where creativity made him stand out from everybody else I interviewed. And that's what businesses can do as well. So now, finally, you're left with the real 5% people who are creative, who are knowledgeable, who have belief and hard work and everything. And with this, you really compete. So in life, not only in business, at work, in relationships, how you treat your wife and kids or your spouse, the way you act in every field of life, it's not really difficult if you have all the qualities that 95% people don't. Once again, let's list them. Hard work, 60% people don't have hard work. Belief, 20% people lack belief. They're very pessimistic, maybe more. 5%, they don't have a plan. They don't know what they're doing. They're just in it without any idea. We call them walking zombies. The other 5%, they lack knowledge. And with knowledge, if you don't have knowledge, you won't have the right skills. And the last category, the other 5%, they're not creative enough. They're doing the same things that others are doing, copy paste, and that doesn't really work out. So if you have all those things that the 95% people don't, imagine where you will be. You'll be in this 5% category, simply stated. And that's the video today, guys. This is, I hope, something that explains to you guys how the 5% people work and why we should not villainize them. We should actually praise them because they have all those qualities. And at the same time, we should use them for inspiration, because if they can do it with those qualities, just apply those qualities in your life, at work, relationships, religion, any passion you have. You want to be a musician, you want to be a singer, songwriter, you want to be a businessman. In any field, you apply these qualities and you can instantly jump in that 5% category where you are successful, happy, financially abundant, and in a very, very satisfied place. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to comment. Let me know what you think about this video. For lessons, if you ever need any lessons, we have our email in the description. As always, this is Sean from HZad Education. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Take care.